directly underneath the treasury,
Uh-huh.
the building from Last Crusade.
Yeah. You know what everybody's gonna think.
I know,
Coincidence.
we did not put this here.
An ancient relic, a legendary cup, and a global quest that might have just reached its final destination. For centuries, the Holy Grail has been the stuff of myth, a symbol of divine power lost to time. But now, explorer Josh Gates, armed with new theories and ancient maps, ventures into the unforgiving deserts of Jordan on a high-stakes episode of Expedition Unknown. He's chasing a lead that connects the Grail not to European castles, but to the very lands where history's most pivotal events unfolded. What he uncovers is a secret hidden in plain sight, a discovery so profound it challenges belief. Jordan's Grail. Secret for centuries, the entire world has been looking for the Holy Grail in all the wrong places. The quest for this legendary artifact, said to be the cup used at the Last Supper, has fueled countless expeditions, inspired blockbuster movies, and consumed the lives of historians and treasure hunters alike. Most of these searches focused on Europe, in Scottish chapels, French castles, or beneath the Vatican. Yet the story begins in the Middle East, and according to a radical new theory, it might have ended there too. This is the starting point for Josh Gates and the Expedition Unknown team. They're not just on another adventure, they're operating on a paradigm shift, a complete 180-degree turn from conventional wisdom. The new evidence points to Jordan. Why Jordan?
This is a city of enduring mysteries, mysteries that I've traveled a long way to investigate.
The logic is surprisingly simple. The Grail's story is deeply intertwined with the earliest days of Christianity and the Knights Templar, the warrior monks who protected pilgrims in the Holy Land. For over 200 years, the Templars were the guardians of the region's most sacred relics. It makes you wonder, why would they transport their most prized possession thousands of miles across hostile territory to Europe, a continent that was, at the time, far less stable? What if instead they hid it right under everyone's noses? The theory suggests they used their incredible wealth and power to create a network of secret hiding places throughout the Holy Land, with the ultimate prize secured in the most defensible and remote location they could find. This leads Josh to the rugged, windswept landscapes of the Jordanian desert. This isn't just a random pin on a map. The area is steeped in history that directly connects to the Grail's origins. We're talking about a region that was once home to powerful kingdoms and was the site of biblical events that shaped the world. The team isn't just wandering aimlessly. They are following clues left behind by the Templars themselves.
Solving all the issue about
The age of this.
the age of the treasury and the function of the treasury.
These aren't written clues, but are instead encoded in the very architecture and geography of the land. It's a treasure map not drawn on parchment, but carved into the living rock of the desert. The centerpiece of this puzzle is a formidable fortress, a place of immense historical significance that has been largely overlooked by Grail hunters. Machaerus. This desolate stronghold, perched atop a 700-foot-high mesa, holds a dark and powerful history, a history that might just be the key to everything. But what they find at the fortress is far stranger than a simple cup. Where the Baptist fell. The fortress of Machaerus is a truly intimidating sight. It rises from the desert floor like a broken tooth, its ruins stark against the sky. Getting there is a challenge in itself, a grueling trek that requires navigating treacherous cliffs and enduring the punishing Jordanian sun. But for Josh Gates, the difficulty of the journey only reinforces the location's potential. If you wanted to hide something of unimaginable value, this is exactly the kind of place you'd choose. This isn't just any old fort. This is the palace fortress of Herod the Great, the infamous king of Judea. More importantly, history tells us this is the very place where John the Baptist was imprisoned and ultimately met his end. This connection is the wow factor, the crucial detail that changes the game. Some Grail legends suggest that the first guardian of the cup was not a knight, but John the Baptist himself. The story goes that after the crucifixion, the Grail was passed to those most trusted, and who was more trusted than the prophet who baptized the central figure of Christianity? It's a mind-bending idea. The team explores the ruins, descending into the dark subterranean cisterns and dungeons where John the Baptist likely spent his final days.
Oh my God. What is it?
Skeletons.
Skeletons!
Yes.
The air is thick with history. You can almost feel the weight of the past here. Using ground-penetrating radar and LiDAR scanning, they map the underground chambers, searching for anomalies, hidden rooms, or passages that don't appear on any existing architectural plans. And then they find something. A section of a wall in one of the lower chambers appears different, constructed with a different type of stone and mortar than the surrounding structure. It's a subtle clue, one that has been missed for 2,000 years. It suggests a later addition, a sealed-off area. This is where the Templar connection clicks into place. The theory is that the Knights Templar, centuries after the time of John the Baptist, discovered this location and recognized its sanctity. They chose it as the perfect vault for the Grail, reinforcing the chamber and sealing it away from the world. As the team carefully begins to excavate, the excitement is palpable. They aren't just digging in the dirt, they're peeling back layers of history, getting closer to a secret that has been kept for ages. The chamber holds a secret, but it's the symbols they find that point them toward the final prize. The Nabatean connection. The discovery at Machaerus is a bombshell, but it doesn't yield the Grail itself. Instead, the sealed chamber contains a series of enigmatic carvings, symbols that aren't of Roman or Herodian origin. They are Templar. Specifically, they find the sigil of a serpent biting its own tail, the Ouroboros, alongside a cryptic star map. This isn't a dead end, it's the next chapter of the scavenger hunt. The star map doesn't point to the heavens, but to another location on Earth, a place famous for its otherworldly beauty and ancient mysteries, the lost city of Petra. The presence of the Ouroboros is even more telling. In Templar lore, it represents a cycle, a journey and a secret guarded through eternity, a fitting symbol for the Grail. Suddenly, the quest pivots. The team travels over 100 miles south to Petra, the legendary city carved directly into the sheer rose-red cliffs by the Nabateans over 2,000 years ago. It's a breathtaking sight, a place that looks like it belongs on another planet. The sheer scale of it is hard to comprehend. A single structure like the treasury is taller than a 10-story building. But Josh isn't there as a tourist. He believes the Templars used Petra as a sort of safe deposit box, leveraging the city's remoteness and the labyrinthine network of tombs and temples to hide the Grail. The symbols from Machaerus are the key. The team's challenge is immense. Petra covers an area of over 100 square miles, with thousands of structures carved into the rock. Searching it all would be impossible. But they have the star map. Using sophisticated astronomical software, they align the map with the known layout of Petra, looking for a correspondence. And they find one. The map points directly to a lesser-known area of the city, away from the main tourist paths, to a series of tombs that are rarely explored. Here they find the serpent symbol again, subtly etched into the entrance of one specific, unassuming tomb. It's a chilling moment of confirmation, a sign that they are on the right path. They have followed the clues from one ancient fortress to another, a trail of breadcrumbs left by warrior monks almost 1,000 years ago. The door to the tomb is sealed not by rock, but by time and sand. As they enter the darkness, they have no idea that they are about to solve the mystery. Not a cup, but a stone. Inside the tomb, the air is still and silent, tasting of dust and forgotten time. After 2,000 years sealed in darkness, the beam of a flashlight cuts through the gloom like a scalpel, revealing a scene of stark simplicity. The chamber is small, almost claustrophobic and crudely carved from the living rock. For a heart-stopping moment, it seems completely empty, a dead end after an impossible journey. But then the light settles on the center of the room. There, on a small, weathered pedestal, sits an object. It is not a gleaming chalice of gold encrusted with jewels. It's not the shining cup from storybooks and legends. It's not a cup at all in that sense. It is a simple, unadorned stone bowl, crudely carved and showing the unmistakable marks of great age. It's an object so plain, so unassuming, that in a museum full of treasures, most people would walk right past it without a second glance. But to Josh Gates and the team, this humble bowl is the culmination of everything. This, they believe, is the Holy Grail. Now hold on a minute. This is where it gets really interesting for all of us watching from our couches. Is this really it? A plain stone bowl? It's not what any of us pictured. It's a bit of a letdown, right? The thing is, this anticlimactic discovery actually aligns perfectly with a lesser-known but historically plausible theory. Many biblical scholars and archaeologists argue that the popular image of a golden chalice is a complete fantasy, an invention of medieval poets and artists centuries later. At the Last Supper, a formal, ornate cup would have been completely out of place. It was a simple meal, a Passover Seder among men of humble means. A simple stone vessel, however, would have been common for that time and setting. Here's a real wow detail. In first-century Jewish law, stone vessels were considered ritually pure because they were non-porous and couldn't absorb impurities. This made them highly valued for religious ceremonies. The bowl found in the tomb, later tested and dated, shows evidence of being from the correct period, the 1st century. Even more incredible, the type of limestone it's carved from is found in only one place on Earth: the hills near Jerusalem. The evidence is shockingly compelling, but here's where you have to step back and think like a regular person. They find an old bowl in a hidden tomb in Petra. Does that automatically mean it's the Grail? Of course not. It could just be an old bowl. This is the beautiful, maddening mystery of it all. There's no certificate of authenticity, no glowing halo, no ancient inscription that says property of the Last Supper. All Josh Gates and his team can do is present the chain of evidence: the chilling connection to John the Baptist's prison, the Templar symbols in the sealed chamber at Machaerus, the cryptic star map, and the serpent's mark leading to this specific tomb. They laid out an incredible series of clues that led them from one impossible location to another, and at the very end of that chain was this object. It's not about definitive proof, it's about the staggering weight of the circumstantial evidence. Are we missing a key detail? Is this a clever deception left by the Templars to throw people off the scent of an even greater treasure? Or is the simplest explanation that the Grail was never a king's chalice but a humble stone bowl, symbolizing a humble beginning, the true one? It makes you wonder what other monumental secrets are still out there, hiding not in a golden chest, but in plain sight. So a stone bowl in Jordan changes history forever. Or does it? What do you think they really found? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown.